can use a customer, you can assign it to a project, and etc. But also you can have a budgeting. So you can define different budgeting scenarios, so an optimistic budget or a pessimistic budget, and keep track of your costs and revenues based on what are your expectations. So it's really accurate for the managers, for the content, to say, okay, we are over our targets, we are lower our targets, so it's really accurate. Then for sure, we are in version 12, you will be able to distribute the costs by different, for different purposes. So for instance, here I have a clear example of electricity distribution. You can distribute the electricity by 2 different projects, but at the same time also by 2 different departments. So you will be able to say, okay, I will book 20% of this cost, of these revenues for this specific account, 80% for this other specific account, and you can again distribute it by department. So it will allow you to distribute these costs and revenues for multiple purposes. And then, of course, the reporting. You will always be able to see in an analytic account, a specific analytic account, the overview, daily, monthly, weekly, and you will always be able to to have a look at how the analytic account is going, so how the project is going, how the department is going, and so on and so forth. For the demonstration, here we are. So my demonstration, I decided to make a clear example. I will be an architecture, and I will make an assessment of for a plan. So I will sell a service for a plan assessment, and I will then distribute the costs not only on the project I will create, but also on the buildings that will be built later on. So we can start by creating a sell order. We can create our quotation. I already have a customer. Sorry. Here we are, our service. How is the service configured? So, as you can see, we have a price on the service. It will be a price per hour. And then we have configured it as timesheet on task. So when I will be timesheeting on the task, I will charge directly in the analytic account based on the cost of the employee. And then I will also be able to create a new project every time I will generate a sell order. And not only, I will re-invoice based on the sales price. So here we decided to have a sales price of 40 euros, in this case, $40, whatever, and I will invoice it. And I will, the analytic account will be directly linked to the customer invoice. It will be directly linked to the analytic account later in the overview, as I will show. So here we can say that we order 1, we save, we confirm. Here we have the project overview. We can timesheet directly through the project overview. I select the project, sell order 1. I create a task. I can say plan, for instance. And I timesheet 10 hours. I go back to my overview. As you can see here, we have a smart button called Create Invoice. We will be able to directly invoice the 10 hours we have timesheeted. We create and view the invoice. As you can see, Odoo has created also an analytic account called Sell Order 1 Mr. X, because it's for the customer Mr. X. We are able to change it if we want. We will keep it as it is. Once we have validated, we can already have a first overview on our analytic account. As you can see, we have 400 euro for the invoice and 200 euros for the 10 hours timesheet. This is because I set 20 euros of cost of employee on myself. So as you can see in the employee tab, in the HR setting, you can define which is the average cost for your employee. And so Odoo will be able to keep track of both of your customer invoice and how much you have spent for those 10 hours. Can we keep the questions for later? Thank you very much. Then we can create, for instance, a purchase, so a vendor bill. Okay. We can select it, and we can add a product. But let's say that this time we would like to distribute this cost not only for this service, this plan, but also for the two buildings we will be building. So we can create an analytic tag. We can call it building, for instance. And here we can activate analytic distribution. So we can say that we will be distributing this cost 100% on the sale order. And also, we will have a building 1 where we'll distribute 50%, and a building 2 where we will be distributing 50%. We save it. As you can see here, it appears the building tag. We confirm the order. And then we can create the invoice. We validate it. And we go back to our analytic accounting overview. So in the sale order, as you can see, we will have booked all the 100%. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. It should work also through analytic tags. I don't need to select analytic account. If I select analytic tags, I will be able to distribute them through the 3 different accounts.
Amount is 0. So amount is 0.
Yeah, the amount is 0. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. We can redo it. Yeah. Yeah, I just create another invoice. So voila. We add our product. And this time we select a price. We select the tag, we save, we validate. We can also avoid to put taxation, just to, voila. We validate it. And now it should work as expected. So as you can see, we have booked both for the 2 building, 500 and 500, and then 800 for this specific building. So 800 will be the total amount, and minus 1000 for the vendor bill. But not only, as I said, we can also book, for instance, an expense. So due to the high integration of Odoo, you can also say, okay, I will create an expense, and I will book it directly to the sale order. So we can say lunch. We just select an expense product. We define a price, that is quite important. And we define the analytic account. Also in this case, you can distribute this expense through analytic tags. It's up to you. In this case, we just link everything to the sale order and to the analytic account. We create a report, submit to manager. We approve it. Post journal entries, and here we will be able to say how much we have spent in total. So yeah, lunch 500 euros. So as you can see, you can keep track of all your costs, you can distribute them in different accounts, you can distribute them by department, and you can always have an overview on everything. So on all the costs you have booked, on all the revenues you have booked, and also have a complete overview on the analytic account. So concluding, why should we use Odoo Analytic Accounting? Because it's really flexible, everyone can use it. You don't need to know too much about accounting. You just need to prepare to plan carefully your accounts and to link them step by step to the customer invoices, to the vendor bill, to the expenses. It's fully integrated. You have the project, the timesheet, the sales, the purchase, the expenses, and also the payroll. I didn't talk about the payroll because it's quite complex. It's really country specific, but you also are able to link it through the payroll, link analytic distribution and analytic account. Is of course easy to use. It's useful for several purposes. So as I said, really by department, customer, project, and you can also create new purposes if you have new ones. And then for managers, you will always have the ability to report all your costs and revenues without any problem. So yeah, I wanted to thank you, and I think you have some questions. So
yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the financial accounting and analytic accounting.
Yeah.
How easy it is to change the entries, like if you change an analytic accounting entry, and can it happen that you change an analytic account, that you change the entry in the analytic account, but the entry doesn't get changed in the financial account? Does it make sense?
Yeah. Can we try to repeat it? So when you change the analytic account,
like
you would like to
got posted. Are you able to edit?
If the entry is posted, you are not able to edit the entry, because if it's posted, you are not able to edit the amounts. It's already in the journal entries. But for the analytic account, we should check it. We should check if it's
because versions you can change it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Only changes the analytic account entry.
Usually it should be already the analytic account. So I think that is not possible to change it, but we should test it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
When you create a budget with the budget positions, you can compare your estimation with the real expense.
Exactly.
But when you try to compare the personal cost, the estimate that was with the real, the real value doesn't show on the budget.
What do you mean? Sorry. Yeah.
When you want to try to compare the real cost, you have a budget.
Okay.
A budget with the real time the employee has assigned to this analytical budget. But the hours of the employee doesn't have an accounting entry.
Yeah. If you want to.
You can compare because the hours is not shown on the budget.
Yeah, of course. In that case, you can create a accounting entry, a journal entry with the salary of the employee, and you can also distribute it through the analytic account. So if you want, you can create an analytic account and distribute it through all the projects the employee has been working.
Okay, you have to make it
manual. Yeah, for the journal, for the salary, yes. If you want to compare it, yes, of course. Yeah.
Sorry, what if you have physical products? I would like to track the physical cost or the cost of the physical products that I'm shipping from the warehouse.
Okay, you can, for instance, you can add the delivery cost, and it will be directly linked to the analytic account if you want. For instance, if you have internal costs, you are talking about internal warehouse costs or shipping the process to cost the product.
Shipping 100 different products, and then I know the cost of those, and then
yeah, you can.
It's related to the sales order, which has the delivery order.
Okay, in the sales order, you can add the delivery cost, of course, and you can link it to an analytic account as well.
But Odoo calculated at the background. So when you send out something, that has a cost. The system should know which sales order it relates to, and Odoo does the calculation. At least in version 11.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it does the same in version.
And then you can add the analytic account in the invoice, in the customer invoice, as I showed before. So for instance, if you go here, you can add the analytic account, the delivery cost, and add the analytic account and link it to the account without any problem.
I mean, the cost of the product.
The cost of the delivery as well.
Purchase for the warehouse. Then it's in the warehouse, and then I'm delivering that. I'm not talking about the delivery cost per se, but the product cost. The product might come from manufacturing, which has a cost.
Yeah.
It might be coming from a supplier. It has a certain cost.
Through the vendor bill, I'm not really following. Sorry, the question. So if you need to link the cost of the product itself, not of the delivery, to the analytic account through the vendor bill, you are able to do it without any problem.
No, if you have inventory and you cannot manage the cost calculation, it's not done in Odoo. So if you would like to have, for example, global cost of one customer to whom you are selling products coming from your inventory. Each time you send something to the customer, you would like to have the cost on the analytic account. And
Okay.
the cost should come from the inventory, but it's not done actually in Odoo. Though there is no link between inventory and analytic account.
Ah, okay, got it. So you don't want to book only the price. Okay, you should book it when you buy the product.
Yeah, but it's not possible because
yeah.
you are storing it.
Yeah,
you
of
have
course.
inventory.
You can create a line in the analytic account, for instance, or I should check it, but yeah, yeah.
So the question also, in real life, you redistribute costs and expenses at the end of the month, not in real time. So at the end of the month, accountant is taking the cost expenses and redistribute them in departments, not in real life, not in real time, like when you book invoice, vendor bills, whatever. So is it possible in Odoo
To do it.
redistribute the costs?
Okay.
If you movement on the analytic account only.
Yeah, you should do it before. You can plan it before for the distribution. Yeah, I know. Yeah. If you want to do it later, we should check it. But I don't think it's feasible because you cannot, once you have validated the invoice, you cannot change the analytic account on the invoice, on the customer invoice, for instance.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so currently not possible.
currently it's not.
Yeah, you can do it manually. That's what we do. We do it and we do it
But you
in
know
general.
that's
Far from ideal. Yeah.
Yeah. And about the timesheet cost on employee, do you assume that all employees some have virtual payment material per hour rate? So if it is fixed price employee, you still will be using timesheet cost on employee to calculate his cost on the project. Yes?
Yeah, you will use
So
this
if it is
cost.
fixed price employee, there is no complex logic like dividing his fixed salary between various projects and then it will be automatically calculated. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it will compute.
It's fixed that I just imagined myself. Okay, it's approximately 15 euro per
Yeah.
hour. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Then you can, of course, change it weekly, monthly, etc., based on your
So
needs.
it's
But
approximation. When you
yeah, it's an approximation. Yeah, of course. Wasn't really possible to say each hour how much you spent. Would be too complicated.
and analytic text, the distribution, it's enterprise only features.
I think it is only enterprise feature because you need accounting. Yeah, yeah. We have introduced it this year as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Why removing the structure tree from the analytic account? I remember version 10 or before there was a multi-level analytic account. There's the parent account and the child, and you can generate reports on more than one level. On later versions, you removed it, even from the chart of account, which is annoying for me as an accountant. Yeah, the structure. It's legally binding in my country to use this structure, like having the parent account and child account as a chart of account. But I'm talking here about the analytic account. Why removing it? It was very useful.
We report the feedback. I should talk with the accounting team for that. Yeah.
You can use the
Yeah, you can.
In the analytic account.
Yeah, now in version 11, I got that developed. We have the parent account.
Yeah, the case when I have more than one project, which is I trace the cost as you showed us. But also these projects are under a certain department, which is I need to see the cost of this department.
You can use the analytic distribution for that. Will work fine.
That could be a sort of a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of a solution. But yeah, the parent account was very good.
Of course, I will report your feedback and will ask for that. Yeah.
Configuration to the analytic accounts. How can I make any reports from the analytic tags?
You want to have a report from analytic tags? You will. Okay, you can make the reports through analytic accounts, but you would like to have a report through analytic tags. It's feasible from analytic accounts at the moment, not through analytic tags.
Probably it's time for the next question. I have the same issue, so I can tell you all.
Yeah.
Can I use the analytical tags for like having some fixed costs, for instance, that I can use for present some different analytic accounts for the controlling?
Yeah, you mean you can create a journal entry with the fixed cost and then you can distribute them through through the analytic accounts. Yes, of course, you can do it.
Is it better for doing it with the analytic tags, or is there like a better method?
With analytic tags, you will be able to distribute this cost through the projects and departments as you want. So I think it's the perfect solution for you. You just create a journal entries and then you link it with analytic tag, and then you will be able to distribute it. So I think it should work perfectly. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.